Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. Hope all your day went well today. Ben and I are welcoming our consumer electronics expert, Sandy Berger, going to be joining us for both hours, talking about technology and her brand new car and the technology that's in that. It's a lot of interesting stories coming out, and of course, obviously Windows 10. That's just in the news. Also, maybe we'll touch a little bit about the three organizations that went down. Coincidence, or were they hacked? The Wall Street Journal, United Airlines, and the New York Stock Exchange all went down for a few hours. We'll talk about that as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we bring you 2 hours of Computer America.
1 minute until showtime.
Thirty seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
The Computer America Show is brought to you by Bell Ringers. It's newer than news when you're right there as it first debuts. Visit our sponsor's website at bellringersmedia.com. Hello and welcome into another edition of the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into a Wednesday edition of the show. I've got a great show planned for you tonight. A lot of things happening on the program. I think what we're going to do is we're going to touch a little bit on some news regarding the New York Stock Exchange, United Airlines, and the Wall Street Journal. What do they all have in common? They all went down today for about a period of several hours. And we'll talk about...
They all have panic-stricken IT people running crazy right now.
Exactly. They're all back up. Was it hackers or was it just an amazing coincidence? We'll explore that tonight. If you have a comment or a question or a suggestion, would give us a call. It's 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. We also have our live interactive chat room. You just go to our homepage at computeramerica.com and select the show lounge/chat. Two things will happen. Our chat room will appear on the left-hand side there. Just it'll say "Want to chat," put a username in, which is the name you'll be known by when you go into the chat room, and you're in. And also, what will happen is our live video stream will begin to will activate. Computer America is a radio talk show, but we also broadcast the live video stream to you as well, and it'll start automatically when you go in there. If you want just the chat room to be a full page, if you hover over the show lounge/chat, it'll give you the option to just go to a full screen chat. You have that option as well. That's pretty much it. Let's get started. Sandy Berger is here with us tonight. Sandy appears here on a regular basis here at Computer America. Sandy is a consumer electronics expert versed in things like digital cameras and scanners and all the cool stuff that just makes computing and technology just a fun thing to do. And she's here with us tonight. Sandy, welcome to Computer America. How are you?
I'm doing well, Craig. How about you?
Doing fine. Now, we if let me just say a couple of things here. First of all, Sandy, as I said, is our consumer electronics expert, and she is here because she's very knowledgeable at it. But also,
She was also the highest bidder at the luncheon we had, so
and she
that's good. That's good.
But if Sandy's going to talk about something, it's going to be her opinion about it. If she likes something, she'll tell you that she likes it and why she likes it. If she doesn't like something, she'll tell you that too and give you her reasons as to why you may or may not, partake of that. And so we like that very direct approach, and you're going to get that the straight scoop from Sandy. The other thing is that we make available to you what we're going to be talking about tonight. We call it our cheat notes. If you go to computeramerica.com and you click on tonight's show, it's right there on the homepage. There'll be a little link that says cheat notes, and if you click that, it'll open up a Google Docs document, and you'll be able to see everything we're talking about tonight. You'll see the product, you'll see the description, the pricing, everything, including a link to the product. So if you want to explore further, all that is available here. So just go to the cheat notes, and that's available on our website. It's also available at Blog Talk Radio, all the different places that we link that you might be listening to the audio or watching the video. We make that cheat notes. It just makes it a lot easier and a lot more fun to follow along what we're talking about tonight. But before we do that, I guess it's in the news, and we were talking a little bit about it before the show. Again, 3 large institutions in the United States basically went down. The Wall Street Journal, United Airlines, and the New York Stock Exchange. And the first question comes up, and it seems to be, Sandy, the opinion of the pundits that this was not a cyber attack, and it was just basically a coincidence. What's your feeling on that?
Well, it could have been a coincidence. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But the real problem is that everybody seems to be lying to us lately. I mean, we can't trust any of our government officials. We can't trust anybody to be telling us the truth. So if this did happen to be a big cyber attack, I'm not sure that they would actually be telling us the truth about it.
Really?
Really, think about it. Now, the other thing that I have to say is that the New York Stock Exchange was out for about 6 hours. United, I think, was out for about 3 hours. And the Wall Street Journal was out for a while. The Wall Street Journal could have just gotten overloaded. It was just their website that went down. And if with these other 2 things happening, maybe a lot of people went there and overloaded the website. But the other 2 things, it's problematic. And in my mind, it's problematic because the New York Stock Exchange said that it was because they did an upgrade last night, a software upgrade, and they thought it went all right, but when they opened this morning, they found out they had problems. The New York Stock Exchange, as far as I know, never does an update of anything on a weeknight because they have the weekend to do things like that. So that's the thing in my mind that's the most suspicious here. United Air has actually gone down a couple times recently, and with them, it can really be old equipment. You know, part of our problem, Craig, is that these companies don't want to invest a lot of money when they upgrade their systems. So what they do instead of upgrading the entire system is they take their base system and they add new things, and they, kind of sometimes even do rubber bands to hold things together. United says that this was a router that went out, and I know they do have some old equipment. It could have been an old router that went out, but they should have had redundancy on it. This is the other thing. They should have redundancy and a quick resurgence for these things. And 6 hours for the stock exchange is a long time to be out. They barely made it up. I think they came up at about 3:30, and they close at what, 4:30 or 4?
I thought 5.
No, they close earlier than that.
Yeah, 4:30, and
4:30.
like, and I guess people, of course, if they're gonna call it a hack, there has to be some kind of end game. Where are they gonna gain from this? And sometimes hackers just like to disrupt. They like to hack things and call it their own and say, I'm the one who shut down the New York Stock Exchange,
Or
things like that. And of course, companies are going to sweep it under the rug as best they can. But as for like thinking that they're going to Ocean 13 this thing and they're going to walk out somewhere with a bunch of money. No, sometimes they find an exploit and they just take services and websites down because they can.
or
because they want to.
or or it could have been a practice run, a little trial to see what happens if they could do it, before the big one.
That's true.
That's not now, see, I will say that won't happen because then you are exposing your exploit, and then they're gonna of course fix that one. Why would they do it twice?
And they didn't fix it.
Well, they didn't fix it. I mean, if this was caused by a hack, evidently they don't know about it. But it can take months for them once they figure out they've been hacked, it can take weeks or months for them to actually go back and trace how the people got in and what exactly happened. And that's why for them to all come out and say, oh, this definitely wasn't a hack. Yes, I know they want to calm everybody down. They don't want people to panic. On the other hand, I'm not sure that they know that for a fact yet, because one little thing that a hacker does can cause, like a domino effect of things going down. So, it could be a lot of things, but
All right. Well, I guess the obvious is we'll just have to, since no one's coming clean, or they have come clean, and we just don't believe them. If you're a conspiracy theorist, we'll just have to see if it happens again, or if it, and then
exactly.
we can say, oh, you remember back on July 8th, of 2015, that well, there it was, it was the yeah. So
the target thing that happened recently, that's kind of indicative of what can happen. And when I talk about old equipment, Target 2 years before they had this hack attack, they actually tried the pin and chip cards that we're all going to now. And they didn't do it because of two things. Number one, it was too expensive, and number two, it slowed down the checkout lines a little bit. So again, this is happening over and over again. And if you remember Target, they didn't know the extent of it for several weeks.
Yeah. Well, of course, usually when things go bad, it's usually right after an update.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
updates will fix one thing, but then they'll break something else. It's not a perfect world when we live with computer programs. There's always a problem.
There's always a problem, and there's always a hole. I mean, it's all done by humans, and humans make mistakes. So there's always some way to get in.
One of the first things I learned when I was in computer science is that our professor told us there's no such thing as a perfect program.
That's right.
There'll always be a problem, and you fix one thing and it opens up another can of worms. But I guess it was just the coincidence because Target, when they had the thing, it was just that, and then it was weeks or months before the next thing happened. This is like all in the same day, and I think that's what.
I think the thing that this conspiracy theorists are talking about is that these all three things were American institutions, more or less. The airlines, the stock exchange, even the Wall Street Journal, very American, not a store, not a Target or a Michaels or whatever. These are just kind of American institutions. So if they wanted to make a statement, as Ben says, they're not maybe trying to get money or to take everything down, but if they're trying to make a statement, those would be the kind of places they'd go, wouldn't it?
Well, let me ask you this: has any terrorist group claimed responsibility?
There was a group. I think they're called. I want to say anonymous, but that's not anonymous. It's
terrorists are us.
But anyway, it was a group that 24 hours before this happened, they put a tweet out that said something like, "I hope the New York Stock Exchange has a bad day tomorrow."
Well.
Okay. So I think that's what started everybody on this conspiracy theory. Now, they could have just been talking about what's going on in China or what's going on in Greece that would make the stock exchange have a bad day. Or they could have known a little more than that.
Or maybe not. All right. Well, I guess nothing definitive at this point until someone
That's right.
absolutely makes a claim or something. It's gonna chalk it up to be coincidental.
Right. It's going to be interesting to watch for a few days anyway.
Yeah. Oh, there is no coincidence. Who said that? But maybe it was. Again, especially since no one's claiming responsibility, and nothing really was damaged, unless as I said it was a precursor test, which Ben thinks it wasn't. So, okay. Well, then we'll just wait and see. In the meantime, why don't we start with the first story here? And here it is again. It doesn't seem to want to go away. But I know you must really like the Amazon Echo. So
this is I think the third month that we're talking about the Amazon Echo.
Okay.
But it is the device that I think has the most potential.
Okay.
That's out there right now, and actually I think it's the device that's the coolest that's out there right now. I mean, there's the Apple Watch and things that are really great, but this is unique and inexpensive.
Okay.
And for those of you who haven't listened to the previous shows, the Echo is a device that's about 3 inches around and 9 inches tall. It's a cylinder. It's just a little black thing that plugs into the outlet, but it is your personal assistant, and she has a voice. The Echo has a voice. We call her Alexa, and you can name her Amazon if you have someone named Alexa in the house. But basically you just say, Alexa, how high is the highest mountain? And she'll tell you. Alexa, tell me a joke. She's got a kind of a weird sense of humor, but she'll tell you a joke. She'll play music for you from Amazon Prime and do all sorts of things. Now, the reason we've been talking about it for a couple months is that every month Amazon adds more things to her. And I've had her for, I guess, about 3 months, 4 months maybe. When I got it, it was an invitation only. You could buy it for $99. Then it went up to $149. They added even more things to her. But now they have finally, instead of invitation only, it's now for the public. Anybody can go in and buy an Echo at $179.
Okay. Because you got yours for like $99.
$99, yeah.
That was a worthwhile investment.
It was definitely. I should have bought two.
But it was by invitation only at that time, right?
At that time, but you didn't have to be a journalist for an invitation. You could have gone online. Anybody could have gone online and put their name in there and waited for it. And that's how they tried to build up a little anticipation for the device.
I understand you can even ask Alexa, the voice of the Amazon Echo, to order another Echo.
Yeah, I loved that idea. They came out and they said, anybody can buy this now, and you can buy two if you want. So thanks for buying the first one. And by the way, all you have to do is say, Alexa, reorder, and she'll order you another one. So, Amazon just does a great job at, letting you buy things, making you want to buy things. But the Echo is a unique device. Since I got it, it has added the ability to do Pandora, the ability to do traffic, the ability to read me my Google Calendar. Recently, matter of fact, today today they sent out something saying that it was going to be able to now control switches and lights with Wink. Wink is another device. Yeah. Okay. So they now do Belkin Wemo devices and Philips Hue devices, and now they've added Wink.
I saw Wink. I just saw Wink. I was at the Home Depot yesterday or something. I saw the Wink there for the first time.
Okay, we're saying the word Wink a lot of fun. But what is Wink?
Wink is a company basically, or a set of devices that are like Philips Hue has lights, and Wemo is the Belkin devices that are home control devices. and Wink has their own devices. So their compatible devices are from General Electric, Levitron, and Lutron.
So they make light bulbs.
No, yes, they make light bulbs, they make switches, they make all these devices.
Okay.
So you plug in your device into, say, a Levitron plug-in, and then you get a Wink. You have to have a hub, that attaches to your wireless router.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they keep adding things. I have the Philips Hue lights, and they're great because you just say, Alexa, turn the living room lights on, and she does. Or Alexa, turn the living room lights to 50% brightness, and she turns them up or down or whatever she has to do. Also recently, they've added the ability to control these devices by, let's see, how should we say it? Well, you tell Alexa, wake me up in the morning, okay? And then you can tie the light bulbs to the wake-up call. And you do that on your cell phone, but basically every time she wakes you up, then she'll turn the light in your bedroom on or whatever you want, turn the coffee pot on, and you can change the time of those wake-up calls or timers that you set anytime you like. So it's, there's so much you can do with this. It's mind-boggling. I actually have Alexa set up now so that if I misplace my cell phone, she'll ring it for me and say, Alexa, find my phone, and she'll ring the phone until I go and find it. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like. So, and then one of the things
It sounds like a good first step into home automation because that Sears recently had a huge floor display. I think out in California was the first one that they had.
Yep.
But obviously Sears is going headlong into home automation. Like it's going to be the next big thing over the next couple of years. And I think Alexa is trying to position herself, or Amazon is trying to position Alexa to be people's kind of first step or hub of this new connected home.
Exactly, and Apple has their own home automation series that has just started. They've stumbled a little bit, so their things are not ready on time, etc., etc. I expect Apple's going to get their act together very shortly. But there's Lowe's. I'm not sure. Lowe's has their own home automation called Iris. There's a lot of competition here.
Yeah, it is.
And Amazon is trying to get out in front.
It's becoming quite crowded, and unfortunately, what we're seeing here is we're seeing a lot of systems that don't interact with each other. So if you start with one and you want to get an element from another system because you like that particular element, you can't do it because they don't mix and match, at least not initially. It would be nice if there was some standard, and I know Apple was trying to create a standard to follow.
We had a guest on that was actually going to kind of go third party and work with everyone, because like the holy grail is to get everyone on your standard, because then they have to license your technology, pay you royalties, and you get a piece of all the action. But I think there was a company out there that worked third party with every other standard.
Mm-hmm.
We had them on the show. I can't remember their name, but yeah, no, there's just so many out there that it's hard to find one product that's going to work with everything.
That's the beauty of the way Amazon is doing it, because they're basically based on the Zigbee platform, but basically they other people are adding these things, and they have just invested millions of dollars into making the Amazon Echo, opening it up to developers. They've got an SDK and everything on that, so developers are just kind of going to be flocking to this, I believe. And I just think that they're doing a great job. They're going to have competition, they already do, but I like what they're doing. I like the way they're doing it. I also like the fact that for $179 you can get into it. Now, when I say get into it, you're also going to want to have an Amazon Prime membership.
Mm-hmm.
But you get other things for the Amazon Prime membership. You get free shipping and a lot of other things as well.
And access to Prime Day, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's going to become the next. That's the next Black.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Black Friday, yes, it's July 15th is Prime Day. I'm anxious to see what they do, but they're putting a lot of advertising money into that, and
Yeah, they are.
we'll see what kind of deals they have. That's what it's going to be all about. What kind of deals they actually have. Now, one thing I have to say about the Amazon at $179, it's still a great device, but when I got mine, it came with a remote control.
Ah.
Okay. Now the remote control is an added $29.
Now, what does the remote control allow you to do?
Well, right now it's not that useful, but it is useful. For instance, I have all the lights in my living room and the main area of the house on the Philips Hue, okay, on Alexa. So I just say, I can take the remote control in the bedroom with me, have Alexa in the other room where she usually stays, and take the remote in the bedroom and say, Alexa, turn all the lights off. And she'll turn all the lights off for me, even though it's from the other room.
Even though she's out of earshot, earshot is what you're saying?
That's right. There's a microphone in the remote. You press the button, and she'll perform whatever tasks you want.
And that's that's radio frequency. It's not line of sight. It's RF.
Right. Yeah. And you can start to get involved in doing other things like you start playing with her. She actually does Simon Says. So if you take the remote in another room and you say Simon Says, and then she'll quote you. So if the kids are playing with Alexa, I'll go in the other room and say Simon Says, and then call out the kids' names or whatever, and they're like, how does Alexa know my name? How does Alexa say those things? So as my husband puts it, she's become part of the family, and it's just a really neat device.
Yeah. And as you say, it's like endless because they're always adding new things, so new abilities to it. It's software downloadable, which is kind of.
That's right. Yeah, it's just amazing the things you can do. And now she's got recipes. Remember we talked about
Yes.
if this then that.
Yes.
Last week, yeah. So you can go, and you've got to be a little bit. You don't really have to be technical to do that because the recipes are pre-made. But for instance, if you want Alexa to do a certain thing, you can create a recipe and it'll control all these devices. And it's just cool stuff.
Now, what is this? This IFTTT actions that can trigger?
It can trigger actions, so that's how I get Alexa to find my cell phone.
Ah. Okay.
I put in a recipe, and it's pre-made. You don't have to do it. And you put in your telephone number and tell Alexa, when I say find my phone, then call this number.
Right.
And so you can do that with anything you want, with the lights or anything that she can control.
So would you compare this thing to anything else out on the market? Because it sounded like a great product, of course, still in development, just, like I said, just open up to, for, buying to the public. And obviously they're still working on it, even as we speak. Mm-hmm. But what do you think would be the next closest runner-up or something that would be a direct competitor to this?
Well, I think the Apple Home stuff is going to be. Apple Home is going to be tied to Siri, so you'll have the same thing that you have with Alexa. You'll have a voice. And Siri, they're working on a lot of improvements to her. Right now, I believe that Alexa is better than Siri. But Siri is making improvements as they go. And so once Apple gets that all connected, it's really good. And you can do Siri through your Apple Watch. So you'll be able to do the home devices from Apple through your Apple Watch. The reason that Alexa's, to me, is a little bit better than that is I don't always have my cell phone on my person when I'm around the house. And I also probably don't want to wear a watch.
I know. I've tried to call you many times and it goes to voicemail.
Sorry about that. But, if I don't have an Apple Watch, but if I had one, I really doubt that I'd wear it around the house. Where Alexa, she's always there. She can hear you even from another
but we'll come
I
back.
think
And there we are. Okay, we're
it's
back.
really better.
Oh, yeah,
There?
we had a momentary lapse there. Yeah, we're here. We had a
Okay.
momentary lapse, but we're back. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I can totally see that in the coming months, years, what have you, especially with Windows 10
Chat.
coming out. Cortana and Siri are of course going to move more into this, though they're not going to be standalone products, and of course they're not going to be tied into Amazon ecosystem. So yeah, like personally, I pay for the Amazon Prime membership just for like the free shipping. Like that sells it for me. So I guess if you're already in that environment and you're like, hey, this is nice, then
Right.
it seems like
Then this is
yeah.
ideal for you to go for it, especially if you've got Amazon Prime. The other thing that it does is Amazon Prime now gives you free music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can ask Alexa to play any music. You don't have to have it in your library. You don't have to own the CD or the recording or purchase it. And there are some songs that she doesn't have. But for the most part, I have people come over and they ask for their favorite song or their favorite artist, and most of the time she can play it for them. And it's all free, or I should say free with your Prime membership.
Okay. And of course, that flies in the face of Apple's brand new Apple Music that they just introduced. But that, of course, that's a subscription model. You get the first 3 months free, but that's like $9.95 a month for one person, and was it $15 for all three, or for?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So,
Yeah, and
wait. We're at the bottom of the hour, and so we'll continue on. Sandy Berger is here with us for both hours. Right now we're talking about the Amazon Echo. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We'll be back with her. We got a News Tips Bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up as well. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital like TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
I'm waiting. Everybody quiet down now. That's better. It's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time the Kidda Remote Link. This message is from your house. I'm on fire. That is, in a nutshell, the concept behind the new Kidda Remote Link. A roughly cubicle, fit under 2.5 inches in each direction, plug-in that listens for smoke or CO alarms, and when it hears them, sends notification. The setup happens through its app on a handset that's on the same Wi-Fi, but not 5 gigahertz, the same Wi-Fi net as the monitor. The app collects a login, a password, and location contact info for you, the space you're monitoring, and anybody else you want to notify in case of trouble. Before setup is done, you push the test button on your most distant smoker CO alarm to confirm that it can be detected. Bottom line, while it is not intended to replace an alarm system to notify first responders, a Kidder remote link is one way when you're away to let neighbors and others know that your place needs attention. It's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Not stepping on. Oh, yeah, okay, we're good. So, welcome back to the Computer America Show. 33 minutes past the hour. Sandy Berger's here with us both hours tonight, and we thank her for that. And of course, like we have the last couple of shows with Sandy Berger, we're kicking off with a nice little update to the Amazon Echo. And I think we've covered just about everything that's new with it, and things that change. But again, just want to mention the price at $180 with a little add-on, the remote control, another $30, and then there's some power adapters and things like that. Other pieces of hardware that you can buy, separately. So account for that as well. But has Amazon said anything about $180 is going to be the final price point, or is this where they're going?
I think this is where they're going. They have not stated that. At first, they actually stated that this was going to go up to $199. And now they've decided to do the $179 plus $29 for the remote. And that's basically all you need. I mean, that and a Prime membership will get you going with Alexa without a problem. And
you still think that even at $180, it's still well worth getting roped in?
Yeah, it's well worth it if you want to have a device that's fun to play with and that's useful. This is also a perfect device for your grandma or your grandpa who don't really want to get into the cell phones. They're a little nervous over that. Maybe they're not even into computers. You would have to set them up with a Wi-Fi network. But once you get the Wi-Fi network to put Alexa on, they take to this very well. I've had some people over, and they just think it's phenomenal to have somebody there. Also feels like, I think if somebody lives alone and you've got this device that talks to you and plays music for you, it's in a way a little bit of companionship. It's not an actual robot or anything like that, but it's a pretty good deal.
Better than a cat?
Better than a cat. Because I'm allergic to cats, that's why I can say that. Although cats love me. I go to somebody's house to help them with their computer, and they'll say, "Oh, don't worry about my cat." I say, "I'm allergic to cats." They say, "Don't worry about my cat. She hates people." Within 10 minutes, that cat will be in my lap. They love me.
So let's move to this next item here. And when I first saw this, I kind of scratched my head because I thought the Windows Phone is being dropped. That they're sort of tossing in a towel with the Windows Phone. And here we have the Acer Liquid Windows 8.1 phone.
Right, and Acer, this is one of the first phones that Acer has made, and the Windows phones are out there. I actually have two of them here. What's happened is Microsoft has just announced a big cutback. They're going to fire 1,000 people or something like that, and I think most of those are in the phone division. So people are wondering what's going on. They bought Nokia last year. They've done a lot, and Windows 10 is going to work on all devices. So it's going to work on their Surface tablets, on their computers, and on their phones. So I don't believe that they are giving up the phone entirely, but exactly where it's going, I don't know.
Okay.
And
so what's this with this phone? Yeah.
Well, this phone is a $79 investment, and it's an unlocked phone. It's got a 4-inch screen, so I'm going to hold it up here. Let me turn it on and hold it up for those of you that are looking. Compare that to your iPhone, my iPhone 6 Plus, and you can see.
Well, you're holding the iPhone 6 Plus closer to the camera, so it appears.
Sorry about that. How's that?
Okay.
Anybody who's watching, I can't get my hands straight.
Clearly, the iPhone 6 is a tad bigger.
It's a lot bigger. And I'm used to the iPhone 6 Plus because that's the one I use every day. However, having this 4-inch screen in your hand makes you realize how much more comfortable it is.
Wait a minute.
How much more comfortable of a phone it is to hold anyway.
Now, Sandy, I have to try an experiment. Hold both phones up again.
All right.
Okay. And okay, hold it up. All right, now take the iPhone 6 and pull it back from the camera. Pull it back away from the camera, and put the Windows Phone closer to the camera. Right now, you can see.
Now you've got one bigger than the other. Okay.
You put your iPhone in. You take your iPhone
exactly.
out. I feel like we're getting to that point.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Now this phone and Windows phones have the colorful tiles like Windows 8.1 does because it's running 8.1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you that if anybody says it. Little tiles. It's an easy-to-use phone. You won't have any trouble with it. You can do everything that you can do on other phones. It does have Cortana built in, and Cortana, I'm liking her better than Siri right now. As I said, Siri's getting better. I'll give that to Apple, but Cortana is pretty cool, and she's got a nice singing voice too. So now the phone itself is an inexpensive phone. When you talk about a phone being $79 and the retail value of the iPhone is what, $500 or something like that?
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah. So it's a phone that does just about everything you want it to do. It's got a decent camera, not a fantastic camera. It's a 5-megapixel, 2-megapixel front camera. But it runs on 1 gig of RAM, and it has the removable back, so you can put an added memory card in there.
Oh, nice. That is nice.
Which is very nice. Like I said, it's an unlocked phone. It's compatible with AT&T and T-Mobile. Can't use it on a Verizon because you can't get the right SIM card in there.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
yeah, for $79, that's not bad.
It does everything you can want it to do. It is not a speed demon, and if you're used to having some of the faster phones that I've had, the Samsung Notes and stuff like that, you'll sit here and wait for this phone to do some things. The only thing I will say that I found poor on the phone is it seems to have trouble grabbing Wi-Fi signals. So if you're in a large home, forget it, or a large office where you want to go grab the Wi-Fi. If you're somewhere near a room next to, say, your Wi-Fi, then it seems to grab it fine. Now that could just be the phone that I have. It could be the service that I have. It could be a lot of things. But that's the one problem that I've had with it.
Well, I mean, poor Wi-Fi antenna is certainly a possibility, especially at $80. I mean, that is certainly, I guess, the best. I wouldn't say cheap, but affordable. That's for sure. But I mean, that of course has to come at the expense of something else.
Right, and given that you don't have to buy a 2-year contract to go with it, I mean that's really the best of all. You go to AT&T and you buy a SIM card, and you can upgrade. You can use that for a month or 2 months or however long you want to use it for. So it does offer some things that you don't get with a phone that you have to have a contract with.
So you can use.
I feel like I want to designate this the burner smartphone.
Yeah, the burner. That's what I said. The burner phone. Exactly.
Yeah, in a way, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
It's unlocked. No contract. You can use it and toss it even literally.
Mm-hmm. And it actually takes 2 SIM cards, which I haven't figured out the usefulness of 2 different SIM cards actually. But
some people have need for 2 phones, so you can kind of wrap that into one device now, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not sure that you can switch between them. I'm not, I don't know how that works. but it's interesting. It's a very interesting thing, and Acer makes a decent looking phone. I mean, it's good quality as far as the weight. The backing of it is a little stippled, so it feels good in the hand. And there's no gaps. You know, it doesn't look like a cheap phone. So there's no gaps in it or anything. The only other thing about it is the bezel is pretty large. So even though it's a 4-inch screen, the bezel is large, and you don't get too much screen space.
Okay, well, you still have the 4-inch screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the Acer Liquid Windows 8.1 phone, valued at $79.
Won't knock your socks off, but it'll get the job done.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, it seems like everything is, because obviously Windows 10 is here, and this is 8.1, and but if you're looking to pick up a bargain, this certainly is.
Well, it seems like every phone that we talk about here on the show is always, how is this the best phone? How is it better than insert other best phone here? Things like that. But sometimes it's nice just to know your other options out there. If you're not looking for the best phone on the market, you just want a phone. Stuff like this fills that gap.
Exactly, and I don't get to review too many of these, so I'm actually impressed with the quality of the build of it for that price. It's a decent phone, and you can do just about everything you want with it.
Let me ask you this, Sandy. So I know you have all these different phones. What phone do you use personally now? Where do you?
I personally use the iPhone 6 Plus.
Okay.
And my husband uses a Samsung 5. And
Edge
the
one?
reason, no, the 5, not the 6.
Okay.
He's got a 5. Okay, the 6 is the Edge. And the reason we do that is because then I'm always assured of having, if someone asks me to review an app that I have to run on Apple and on Android, I'm always assured of having one or the other. So we have a mixed marriage for that reason.
All right.
And yet you make it work. So brave, so brave.
Yes, it works just fine. And it's my husband is not as technically inclined as I am, and yet he can work both phones without a problem. And I'm sure if I gave him this Windows phone, he could probably figure that out as well. So.
Yeah.
They're all pretty decent. By the way, this phone will be upgradable, free upgrade to Windows 10.
Well, okay.
See, Craig, there's
I have not. I've looked at Windows 10 extensively on the computer. I have not put it on a phone yet, so I'm not sure what the changes are for the phone. But that'll be interesting, maybe for next month.
Yeah, because Cortana is going to be a huge integral part of Windows 10. I know. When you have Windows 10 upgrade, you should have Cortana strike up a conversation with Alexa. And see what happens.
And I could have Siri there, and we could all talk, right?
Yeah, a little powwow. Exactly. What do you think they would talk about?
Maybe that's what caused all those companies to go down. All the digital assistants got into a fight and just sucked all the energy out. I don't know.
No, but that would make a good movie for the next movie you're going to make, Ben.
It's like Skynet, but there's 3 of them, and they all fight on the internet.
Can't we just all get along? I mean,
no.
Okay. All right.
They're all getting smarter and smarter, which is just totally amazing to me.
Yeah, it is. I still think Cortana has the most natural sounding voice of all of them.
She does have a very good voice.
Like, what is it? Siri came out first, and really, she hasn't gotten her overhaul yet. She's gotten upgrade after upgrade after upgrade, and update after update, but she hasn't gotten her overhaul yet. And Cortana came out later, so she's obviously, going to be a little bit better just because the fact that she is, she was quote unquote born later. Mm-hmm. But they each have their merits. I think they all, though, eventually need to be overhauled and re-released because the technology behind them is advancing faster than they can update it.
Well, I think with iOS 9, Sandy, we may see something an improvement in Siri as far as that's concerned.
They might take her out of beta.
Huh? Yeah. There's some rumors that things that we may see an improvement in that area.
They have to keep up with the others, so that there's definitely going to be an improvement.
Yeah.
And
That,
they keep adding things. For instance, Alexa just when they come for 4th of July, okay, they send you an email that says ask her 4th of July joke, and she'll tell you a 4th of July joke or whatever. So they just keep adding things constantly.
Yeah.
see, now I'm curious, when are they going to release a male digital assistant? You know, you have Siri, Cortana, Alexa. Like, when's Brad coming out? When is, you know, someone
Well,
else?
Brad is here. Brad is here. I mean, you
Oh,
can
yeah?
call him whatever you want. No, Siri, you can do Siri of a male voice or a female voice. You have your
Oh,
choice.
yeah.
That's right. They did.
That's true.
It's in the system settings. You can actually make Siri sound male or female. That's actually
right.
been around.
Now, that's been around for a while, and I think it's the only one that has a male voice. I don't think Cortana does.
No,
No.
she does not.
Yeah. And what would you call Cortana if she was a male?
Cortano.
All right. I think we're going to move into. Oh, one last question. When you said you use the iPhone 6 Plus, and again, you're talking to someone who still has the 5S. I think my thoughts were when the 6S comes out, I'll upgrade from the 5S to the 6S. I seem to be that kind of a person, but an S type of a person.
Apple is really great on getting you on those 2-year upgrade cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that, or I can wait for the iPhone 7, but I think that's going to probably be another year.
Very, very few people actually upgrade every time that there's a new release. Like, people usually wait for that 2 years.
Yeah. Well,
most of the time they have to because of the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I qualify, but my contract now qualifies. I qualify for the upgrade, so I may or may not. It all depends. But the Plus, I mean, when I saw the Plus, the 6 looked bigger to me, because with the 5S, the 6 looks gargantuan. But the 6 Plus is huge. I mean, you can't put that in your shirt pocket,
Right.
Nor would you want to. Phones do not
Exactly.
belong in shirt pockets.
Where do you carry your 6 Plus? I mean, do you carry it in the purse or?
Yeah, I mean, because I can. So it's generally in my purse. I do put it in my pocket sometimes. I don't put it in my jeans pocket and sit on it because that's absolutely ridiculous.
Supposedly, they said that the 6S and the 6S Plus are going to have a reinforced aluminum. They're already aware of that, so these next versions are going to be much more rigid. I understand.
Well, I've never had a problem with mine, I will say that. But it is big and it is cumbersome. Now, on a daily basis, it's great because you can see more. It's easier. You can, it's just better as far as the visual end of it. But it is huge in the hand.
It is. It's like a phablet,
It is huge.
But at the same time, the aspect ratio that comes on these larger phones just makes surfing, just general web browsing, not using an app or anything like that, but just general web browsing makes it so much more comfortable because the smaller ratios mess everything up.
Right. Yeah, and you can actually watch videos on it. I could not watch a video on this little Acer phone. It would just drive me crazy. But I could watch it on my iPhone 6 Plus.
Could you watch it on the 6?
Yes, I could. I probably could, yeah.
Okay. 5S?
No.
Okay. Well, the 4 was the 5S had went to the bigger screen size, but still not compared to the 6.
To the 6, yeah.
Okay. So to you, the 6 is the.
If you hand someone an iPhone 1, they're gonna throw it around like it's a toy. It's like, what is this thing? Why'd you hand me a fake iPhone?
Somebody had a problem with their iPad recently, and they said, "Well, what's wrong with it? Why is it so slow?" Well, it turned out it was an iPad 1, the original iPad.
Yeah.
And she was comparing it to somebody else's iPad Air. Well, it's a little bit slower. I don't think there's much you can do for that. Every time they get better and better and faster and faster.
And thinner and smaller,
Thinner and smaller, and
yeah, but in this case, they're not getting smaller. They're getting thinner, but they're getting bigger.
Getting bigger. Yeah. It's amazing the way we do things, right?
Yeah, I still like I would hope that Apple would offer like the next generation. What is it going to like in the 7 or something? They'll have something that was the size of the 5S, but like a
No,
thickness. So it's
that's not what people are asking for.
Mm.
That's what you're asking for, Craig.
I like the thinness. I don't like a thick, bulky phone. Are you seeing people asking for thick phones or just larger screens?
I know I am.
Oh, well.
I think the problem with the thin phones, I mean, not that it's a problem, they're nice and thin, it's great, but then you always have to put a case on it, especially the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. They are slippery phones. I mean, first time I picked mine up, it flipped in the air and I almost dropped the thing.
Oh.
Because the back is very slippery, so you have to put a case on it, and that kind of negates the thinness of it.
I guess we're one step away from people getting cut on their phones.
Yeah.
That was a Saturday Night Live skit. The guy was talking about his really thin phone, and he kept cutting himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're coming up toward the top of the hour, but we can begin to talk about this. We have if you're following or on the cheat notes, you can see all the different things. We're gonna start talking about music, and Yamaha now has been on the show numerous times, talking about their digital pianos, and I'm very.
They put a lot of technology behind that. That really, when you look at them, they're just pianos, but they put a lot of work into them.
Yeah, the last thing that we talked about, Sandy, we had them on. They were talking about their trans acoustic piano, which is, in other words, the actual piano itself, the sounding board acts as the speaker. In other words, there are no speakers now to the trans acoustic. The trans acoustic is a standard piano. It can be a silent piano, but when you hear music coming out of it, it's coming through the actual piano soundboard, which is amazing.
So you could put a headphone on and play the piano that way.
Yeah, or you can have the piano, and evidently the resulting sound is extremely natural. But that's their latest. But you're going to be talking about a Yamaha's Clavinova line of piano.
Right. Now, has Yamaha been on the show so many times? Have they offered you a piano yet?
Yes, they actually have.
Okay. I bought mine.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I bought my phone. So.
Well, there are certain things that we can't necessarily get for review, at least not to keep anyway.
I think cars and pianos are really kind of pushing the boundary,
Yeah, I've been offered those, but only for a certain period of time.
That's cruel because then you really like it, but sometimes they'll offer you the special discount price or something, but that's it.
Well, it's kind of like buying a floor model, like extreme, it's an extreme floor model because it just gets shipped around to everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You never know.
Well, you're going to review the Yamaha Clavinova, specifically the CLP 535 piano, and we'll be talking about that. And also coming up, we're going to talk about cars. Specifically, we're going to be talking about your car that you just purchased, and we're going to talk about not only the car itself, but the electronics, the digital equipment that comes in the car, and so that's going to be. I think an interesting side step. And then we're going to talk about other things as well. Of course, we'll talk about Microsoft's Edge. That's their new web browser that's coming up. And
why are you just browsing? Why are you just skipping right over the Steak Champ? That is so important.
And you're not watching your aim, are you?
Not really, not at all.
All right. Well, you need to. These are some of the things we're going to be talking about when we come back here on the show. But we can start a little bit off, I guess, with the Yamaha Clavinova, and tell us a little bit about this piano.
Well, I just think that these pianos, the digital pianos, have come so far from when I first looked at them, and I've been looking at them for years. Because I do love to play the piano, and it's just so neat. But the thing is, they've always been out of reach as far as the price goes for me. because most of them were right around the $3,000 range, which is the retail price of this one. But I bought my digital piano, guess where?
Where?
Costco.
Costco. All right.
Not too many people go to Costco to buy a piano, but I did.
All right. And yeah, because normally when you go to buy a piano, you go to a place that sells
Those
pianos.
pianos,
Yeah.
yes. And like I said, we've looked at these pianos for years, and we happen to be in Florida, and there was a display of Yamaha pianos in Costco. And so we stopped to look, and the price was much better. I mean, the retail price is listed at $28.99 to $33.99, and I got mine about. Yep.
I'm sorry. We're gonna have to take a break. We're just gonna.
Okay.
So we'll get back to you and your experience about the Yamaha Clavinova, and also about your brand new car, and the digital equipment that you found in it. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are talking to Sandy Berger, our consumer electronics expert. We're going to be right back with her briefly. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is about a cool new way to be the first to hear about new, completely unannounced products or services. The Monday through Friday Newer Than News nationwide Bell Ringers Radio Hour starts August 31st. 4 times on each show, a team of 3 pros, well, 2 pros and me, take the time to tell you all about some new something. That happens over so many stations that more than 50 million people will be able to tune it in. And that same day, releases about that debut go out on 3 major news wires to reach traditional, online, and social media, plus full coverage on Slash Gear and some other goodies. Here's what we'd like to ask of you now. At the company you work for or the companies you work with, chances are that the top marketing people in top brass don't yet know about Bell Ringers. Please, just tell them to check out bellringersmedia.com. That's BELLRINGERSMEDIA.com. But hurry, September segments are booking now.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Oh, hello and welcome to our.
I was wondering if it was live and like no one was talking or what. Sorry about that, folks.
Well, we missed that. Okay, that's a first here on Computer. But welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben. What are we doing?
We're talking to Sandy Berger, our consumer electronics expert, and we're right into the second hour here. We got a little disrupted there, which was fine, but actually it was a good thing.
It was a funny thing. Sorry, folks, about that. Sorry.
Yes. However, Sandy is talking about the Yamaha Clavinova, the CLP 535, and she didn't see it in a piano store. You know, where you have the gentleman walks up and and talks to you. She saw this at a Costco. And because listen, hey, Costco's have TVs, they've got all kinds of things. So why not Clavinovas? And what was your experience with this?
Well, it's been a great experience right from the purchase of it. When I said, well, I live in North Carolina, but I'm in Florida in a Costco, and the gentleman who was the Yamaha rep, he just said, well, we have a place in Raleigh, Durham, and we can ship it to you, and no problem. And I got it within a week, and I have been absolutely loving it. It is a totally digital piano, so you can't play it like a regular piano. However, it's It's got two grand piano voices in it, and that's the thing that sold me on it. It not only sounds like a Yamaha CFX, but it sounds like a Boisendorfer, which is
Wow,
a
yeah.
grand piano that's got a very deep sound, and that's what sold me on this. This is the first one that they've done the Boisendorfer grand piano on, and I like everything about it. The sound is wonderful. It plays, of course, plays by itself. It comes built in with Clair de Lune and 50 other classical songs that it will play for you continuously if you like. Now, the keys do not move like they did on a player piano or some of their more expensive pianos.
Okay.
If you buy a more expensive one, you can get the thing that the keys move.
The actuators, yes.
Yeah, so the keys don't move, but you get the sound of the piano and you get the sound of whatever else. Now it's got a lot of what they call voices. So you can play it with
Now,
let's see, violins and drums and everything else.
now you purchased this, correct?
I did.
Now the price range for this is $28.99 to $33.99. What is the price variability for the same model? What are the options? Is that it?
I just took that from the Yamaha website, and I don't really know what the. I think I know there's different finishes that you can get.
Okay.
Mine is a plain, the dark black finish.
Yeah.
There's a mahogany finish as well.
Mhm.
The standard one is the black finish.
Okay. Which is not because
Yeah, but I didn't pay that much for it. I got it for quite a bit cheaper. And as the salesperson explained, Costco is a big buying agent, and so they sell them for less. And
as a person,
See, I thought you were going to be one of the rare people that actually went into a piano store and bought a piano from them. I never seen anyone do it, but
Well, actually, I have gone into piano stores and looked at these pianos because I have looked at them for years, and every year they get a little bit better and a little bit better. The other thing that this has a great sound to it. It really does. You can record your own music. You can play and record at the same time. It also has a USB port and a MIDI. It has MIDI. So you can hook it up to a computer. I've never done that because it's got USB, so I can take MIDI files and put them right on a USB drive and put it in the piano, and it will play it.
that's nice.
oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's really been great. It's got a liquid crystal display on it. It's about 4 inches by 5 inches or something like that. So it's easy to use. They did a lot of work on it. The one thing that they didn't include at this level is Bluetooth, and I understand that that's included in some of the more expensive pianos. And I kind of wish it had that because you can also hook this up to your iPad and play along with it and learn and do a lot of other things. It would be easier if it had Bluetooth. The only thing I've been able to do with it is I could put in a Bluetooth adapter, and it will play the music off my phone through the piano, which is kind of unique.
And that's all thanks to Yamaha and all their engineering and how really they're putting in electronics and speakers and all that kind of stuff. So it's just the way that Amazon makes these things allows them to be not just a piano or not just a player piano, but also its own standalone speaker system.
Right. You mean Yamaha?
Yeah.
You said Amazon.
Okay.
All right.
Close enough.
Close enough. No.
Since
Yamaha.
we were just talking about Amazon.
It's still stuck in my brain. It really is.
No, the thing is, I've seen some of the original Yamaha digital pianos that came out, and they still sound good. But what they've done on this one is they've really gotten the display and the choices down. So it is easy to use. The choices are you're not scrolling through millions of things. You can just add the voices or play the left hand or play the right hand. It's just got just about anything that you want on it.
All right.
Now, so let me ask you this. So again, Ben is, I guess, I'm the musician in the family. Although Aaron plays guitar and
I sing.
yeah. Well, Ben, you don't play musical instrument. Ben's the gamer in the family.
Well, no, I play Rock Band and Guitar Hero, and I sing.
Okay.
And yeah, see, I'm
He plays the
extremely
guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This is plastic 5 keys,
But now my background is classical piano and
Okay.
I play piano. So the things, but the beauty of things like this, as you say, is that because they're digital, you can still play piano and not wake up the neighbors. I mean, you can turn the speakers off and just put your headsets on.
That's right.
And play these things. Now the clavinova. When you play, is the music? When I last looked at the clavinova, they were on disc. That you would put the discs in, and you would have the different song selections. Now it's on hard drive. Is it downloadable? How is the music stored?
The music is stored. It must be on hard drive, and you can transfer it, like I said, from your computer,
right,
via MIDI.
Okay.
Now MIDI is a really old, as you know if you've played the piano. MIDI is a very old, probably from the 70s, the format, and yet it's the only musical format that has lasted through all these years, so they're still using it. And you can go to Yamaha's site and you can buy more music and put it on your computer, on your piano if you like.
All right, so you download the music, you pay for it, and then you upload it to the piano. Is it wireless or is it cordless? I mean, Wi-Fi?
No, see, that's the thing. You'd have to have, in order to take it from your computer to the piano, you have to have MIDI cables on this particular model. However, I just put it on a USB drive. So I have downloaded music from Yamaha, put it on a USB drive, and put it in the piano. Now you get the choices right on the screen. You can have the choice of all the classical music that's built in, or it'll come up to your choice of other, which is your USB drive. And anything on your USB drive will show up there, and you can just choose it.
Yeah. And again, you can see the piano. If you're watching Ben in the background, you can see the actual.
It really is a nice looking piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's got a great feel to it. That's the other thing. I love the Boisendorfer piano, grand piano sound, and the feel of the piano. It's like playing a regular acoustic piano.
Yeah. So you have all the advantages of a grand piano, but it's in an upright. And I mean, Yamaha makes quality instruments. No question about that.
And of course, you can make it sound like a harpsichord or whatever you want besides that. So you can have accompaniment, and as I start using it, I find more and more things that I can do with it. I'm sure I haven't covered the gamut of all the things that it can do yet.
Yeah. But it's a wonder, and in this day and age, to have it, if you want to have a musical instrument in your home, you certainly can. Something like this just gives you a wider variety than you could with just a standard piano. There's no question about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And my husband has fallen in love with it, and he doesn't play the piano, but in the evening he'll go over and start the classical music and just have the piano playing in the background.
Oh, that's so nice. That's.
Yeah.
You're having dinner, or just it's like you feel like you're in a fine hotel or something, and the piano is quietly playing in the background, and just not to interrupt conversation. You can have a conversation, but you can have the piano playing, and it just is it's just a nice addition to the atmosphere in your home.
Exactly.
It really is. It's just like, it almost feel like it makes me almost feel like you're dining out somewhere, with a piano playing in the background.
What was really great is right after we got the piano, it was in May, and the weather here was fantastic, 70 degrees and wonderful. Well, we went out on the patio. I have bliss lights, which I think we talked about quite a few months ago. These are laser lights that project little pellets of lights up into the trees.
Yes.
And we went out on the patio, made ourselves a drink, and then turned the piano on to play classical music for us, and boy, I felt like I had died and gone to heaven. Honestly, it was so beautiful.
It is.
So
And and you can bring these elements now into your home, and not for a lot of money, and
yes,
and the pleasure that you'll get from it will far outweigh what you spend from them, because these are they can be lifelong commitments. I mean, you have a piano and you buy that, and
And it sounds like available conveniently at your local Costco.
yeah.
I don't think it's available at all Costco's, but it could be, I guess. The one thing that Yamaha, I think they give you a 2-year warranty with these, but for the first year, you can exchange it if you want to change up.
No.
So if you want to get one of those little baby grands or something, so when I win the lotto, if I win it within the next year, I'll have to work on that.
Or transit or transit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as you mentioned, this model doesn't. The keys don't move, but I don't know how important that is. But if you want it, you want the keys to move. You can't. They do have models that.
How else am I supposed to fake my way to girls who I bring over? It's like, hey, check this out.
There it is.
It ruins the whole illusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I hear you. I feel that. I used to. So that's it. You sit down.
Yeah,
and
you know how to play the piano, and you still do it as a stupid dinner trick.
I know.
You have people over, and it's like, oh, watch me play this, and he plays it, and then he takes his hand away. It's like, oh, you know what? And everyone laughs, and I die a little inside. You know.
You've seen it too many times. That's it.
Yeah.
You have to remember, for them, it's the first time. So, and then of course, then I actually do play. But yes. So the Yamaha Clavinova. So you give it a thumbs up.
I do, definitely give it a thumbs up.
Okay. All right. Well, from pianos now, and we move into the automotive arena here.
Yes, I have spent a lot of money in the past few months.
Yeah, I'm saying, boy. I mean, you're getting all this
training
stuff.
up.
Woo, yeah. Well, I was driving a 2002 Volkswagen Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a car that I absolutely love, and I have not gotten rid of it. I'm letting my daughter drive it right now.
Ah.
But I basically buy a car that I like, cars that have some design to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bug is so rounded and has a unique design.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out looking for a new car, and I really found it difficult to find anything. They all looked the same. When I started looking at different cars, and of course SUVs are very popular now, and I didn't want a car that big. So I wound up with a Hyundai Elantra. It is, the retail price is $21,700. So it's not a $40,000 car or a $60,000 car, but it has all the features that you could pretty much want in a really nice car.
I love that color changing feature that Ben is displaying.
That not
Just
available
on the website.
No, not available on live.
Okay. All right. So tell us about this.
Well, it's like I said, the car's got some style to it. It's not a speed demon. I would like it to have a little bit more get up and go. That's my only hang up. See, my bug was a turbo. And it had quite a bit of pep to it.
This didn't have a turbo model with this car?
No, I didn't get a turbo model on this one.
Or did they offer a turbo model?
I don't think they did offer a turbo on this.
Okay.
But in any case, the thing that I got, my 2002 Beetle was the most modern thing on it was the cassette deck. Right. We hadn't even gotten to CDs yet when I purchased that car. Oh, it does have key fobs that open and close the doors.
Okay.
But those are the two multimedia features, if you want to say, of that car. So when I got this car, and it had a backup system and a navigation system and everything, I was in seventh heaven, and I'm still learning how to use it all. But I'm enjoying myself with it. This has a 7-inch screen that, of course, gives you, your GPS directions. And it's got Bluetooth hands-free phone, which I'm absolutely loving. Very, very easy. I was totally amazed at how easy it was to set up your phone to it.
Mhm.
And when I did set it up, I think the instruction book said it would take 1,000 contacts, and I had like 1,500 contacts.
Oh.
But even so, it took all my contacts without a problem. It's got voice recognition, so just like you tell Siri, you know, call my husband or call my mother or however you're going to put it, you can do that on the phone. I mean, on the car,
Mhm.
through your phone.
Okay.
Um,
That hands-free dialing is very important too.
yeah, it is very important, and North Carolina has not yet said you had to have hands-free, but it should. They should regulate that, I think. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be coming soon. More and more states are passing those laws where if they see you distracted for any reason, it's not a good story.
Right. Now, the one thing this has, too, that I'm totally unfamiliar with is you push a button to start the car, and you can keep your keys in your pocket.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, that feature I think really started up with Mercedes, and then it was so popular that it's filtered down into most cars. So you're right, you don't have to put the key in anymore. Just as long as you keep it in your pocket or it's in your purse, just push the button.
So it's like near field communication kind of deal.
Yeah, it is.
And somehow or another, you just push the button. I mean, if you want to lock the car, you don't need the key for that either. You just push a little tiny button on the handle, and as long as you have the key, it'll lock. Now, I was afraid that if I was far from the car, it would still lock or unlock, but that doesn't work that way. With this car anyway, you've got to be almost right next to the door to lock it or unlock it, which I think is a great feature.
Now, my question is, Sandy, what happens if you leave the key fob in the car and you press the button to lock it?
It won't lock.
How does it know that it's inside the car?
That's a thing I don't know, and I haven't actually tried it yet. But the salesman told me it will not let you lock the keys in the car.
Well, I think what happens is that if it's in there and you push the lock button and it's in the car, and it's in the car, you can push the button again and it will unlock it because the key fob is already inside the car. You see, and it's close enough to lock it and unlock it. That's my first thing.
Well,
yeah.
I got to think through that. That doesn't sound right.
All right. Well, next month
I'll have to find out what.
The great car locking mystery. Okay. All right. Let us know next month.
Okay. So this has something called Blue Link. They call it Blue Link, but actually, you can it can help you find the car. It can remote start and all that. There's an app on your phone. They give you that through.
I like that remote start because you got to come out in a chilly winter North Carolina morning and you want your car warm. You can push a button, start your car remotely. By the time you get down to the car, it's already going to be warm. You have the heater on.
That's right. And this has heated seats in both the front and the back.
So you can start it up.
For your cold weather in the mountains, you should be just good with that, right?
Yeah, you get right.
So now you can't like look back into your back seat and be like, man, these seat warmers are awesome. You guys should totally drive next time. That's nice. That's nice.
It is nice. I mean, it's one of the things that I want on our next car is I want it to be able to start remotely because if it's cold, and then also turn the heat on and the seat warmers just remotely do all that. And because today's cars, you can do that. And so when you get in the car, your hands aren't freezing. The steering column isn't freezing. It's warm and toasty, and you're off and running.
Right.
That's a really nice feature. I'm sure when you just got this car, but as we get into the wintertime, I'm sure you're going to really appreciate that.
Well, you can do the same thing with the air conditioning. If you leave the air conditioning on, when you get out of the car, you can remote start it, and then it will, cool it off before you get there. So if it gets really hot, you can do that too.
Yeah, that's something. That's something that I learned. I lived in Florida my whole life, so I did not know, what was started with all this snow and stuff. Is that the reason that people go out and start their cars up? Again, as someone who had to figure this out the hard way, wasn't because they were babies or they were wimps or they didn't like the cold or that they complained. Is that your windshield ices up and freezes over,
right.
And if you go out and start your car up, half an hour early, you can melt that before you even have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
I
is.
did not know that. So, features like that, very, very convenient because I've had to sit in my car for 20 minutes and wait for my windshield, to actually get visible.
Yeah, it is. And of course, a lot of the glass also has the heated,
That's
the
true.
rear glass. You got the heater turned on, so will everything will be warm and ready to go when you get in your car. Uh, you just have to remember to start it at 15 minutes.
Right.
Exactly. So again, and so this is a real leap for you. I mean, you're all of a sudden from a 2002 Volkswagen Beetle, and now you purchase this car that has all this great technology in it.
It
Uh,
does, yeah.
so we'll solve the great locking mystery next month. But
Next month, yeah.
tell us it. So continue on.
Try
Tell
to
us-
lock your keys in the car. See how you can manage to get it done.
Well, I know one time I left it in, I didn't have it in park. I had it in neutral instead of park when I first got it. And it wouldn't let me get out of the car. It wouldn't let me turn it off. It wouldn't let me do anything. And it just kept beeping at me until I figured out that
Got angry at you.
I had done something wrong.
Did you find that to be a frustrating experience, or you just
I
wanted-
was a little frustrated until I figured it out, and then I was like, "Oh well, thank you very much." A great experience.
Yeah, maybe in the future they'll have a little voice that says, you've left your car. They could have
It will tell you what you did wrong.
It'll tell you what you did wrong or what's.
Well, as soon as they put Cortana in the car, then it'll be able to tell you what you did wrong.
Right.
In the meantime, it has a few other neat features. It can if you have a collision. I think if your airbags deploy, it will automatically call for help. There's an SOS button on it. So now this is something that you subscribe to. But if you subscribe to it, you can press the SOS button if you have a problem.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that because it's like OnStar, the same thing. You get
Yes.
you get a first month or two free or something, and
Right.
then you have to subscribe to it. Mercedes is the same thing. It's a service. You have to subscribe to it, and if you don't, then it's just a cute little button that doesn't do anything. So it's probably good, and the service is so inexpensive. It's probably worth it to keep it.
Right, and it also has XM radio, so
Ooh,
you know.
you're gonna really like that because that makes the time pass more quickly. I listen to the Comedy Channel on long drives. And
I am loving it so far. It's got so many channels, and you can flip this from there's like 2 sets of presets for the FM radio, and then there's AM, and the 2 or 3 sets of satellite radio presets. So this is all done on the touch screen. It's a big touch screen. It's like 7 inches.
Yeah, that is nice. So you control the navigation and the audio for the car is also controlled on the same screen.
Right. Yeah.
Which is one of the things I liked about the built-ins, because when you buy the add-ons like the Tom Toms and the Garmins or that type of thing, I mean they're wonderful if your car doesn't have it, but I always say if you buy the car and it has it already built in, you have integrated services which you don't get with the one that you stick on your windshield.
Right. Yeah. It feels more like it's part of the car, and it is. And it gives you extra features too. So when you set up the audio on this, you want to set up is it louder in the front or the back? It actually shows you a graphic of the front and the back seats instead of just text or words, because they make good use of the screen. Every time I've tried it, they make very good use of the screen.
Does it have a rear view camera as well?
Yes, it does. It has and that's kind of hard to get used to for me anyway, because I'm like using the camera, but then I still want to look, and I'm getting a little bit more used to that.
Now, when you put it in reverse, that's the camera comes on
automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's whether you have the radio on or whatever. Mm-hmm. And automatically, after you hook up your cell phone to it, it automatically calls. If a phone call comes in, you just press a button on your steering wheel, and you talk. And you can voice call through it. One of the neatest things that I found though is you can play Pandora and different things, and there's a little jack that you can put your phone to. But what I found with my phone is, for instance, I was listening to Apple. I was listening to their conference. I was actually watching it on my iPhone. And I went to get in the car, and I thought, gee, this was right after I got the car, and I thought, gee, if I had taken the time, I could have probably figured out how to hook my phone up. Well, I didn't have to figure anything out. I got in the car, and the audio on my phone stopped, and I realized immediately all I had to do was press the media button on the car, and the audio from my phone was playing through the car.
That's nice.
But not the video, right?
Not the video, no, but the audio was, and that alone is worth, a lot to me.
Well, if the video came on, that'd be a hazard to driving.
Yeah. I mean, and that's
willing to take that risk.
That's the problem with some of these cars that are, adding more things all the time. You've got to be careful to keep your eyes on the road. One other thing this has, it gives you a monthly vehicle health report. So every month it tells you how many miles you've driven, and if your air pressure is low, or you need oil, or it's time for service. I guess it tells you all that. So
it tells you the tire pressure as well. That's nice.
Yeah, it tells you a lot about the car, which is really neat.
So definitely, obviously, is it worth getting all these multimedia extras in the car?
It is, and they weren't that much more. In this car, it's going to a limited edition, and you do get other things that I wasn't that crazy about. I really wanted the heated seats.
Yeah,
that was important to me, and this one has a sunroof, which was not that important to me, but it has leather seats and all the extras for about $20,000. I'll tell you, I went into an area here that's very upper class, and I was driving through and looking at the cars in the driveways, and they were all Mercedes and Bentleys and all sorts of, and I thought, oh, all those people paid $60,000 for their car. Mine is just as nice.
Yeah, and it does more probably too. Listen, we're at the bottom of the hour break, and we're continuing. Sandy Berger is here with us. We're talking about the Hyundai Elantra Limited and all the digital equipment that came with it. We got lots more coming up. We've got another news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I need a favor. You may not have anything to do with launching new products or new services at the company you work for or the companies you work with. So just in case the people there who are in charge of that aren't listening to Computer America tonight, please tell them about Bell Ringers. It starts August 31st as an hour-long Monday through Friday nationwide radio show on so many stations that more than 50 million people will be able to tune it in. 4 times each hour, a team of 3 takes the time to fully describe and explain something that's never been announced before, making it newer than news. And that same day, they send releases over 3 wires to traditional online and social media. Get full coverage on Slash Gear and more. Please, just ask those marketing guys to take a look at bellringersmedia.com. That's BELLRINGERSMEDIA.com, bellringersmedia.com. But hurry, September segments are booking now. Thanks.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Old school? Never graduated. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time the Jasco Heavy Duty Timer. When's the last time you used a timer? Maybe have one so a lamp can make it look like somebody's at home when you're really away. But other than that, the thought rarely comes up. It did occur to us, though, when we reviewed a plug-in 1.5-gallon hot water heater that could fit under one faraway sink and have hot water ready there in 8 minutes from a cold start. Like most hot water tanks, the 12-amp heater inside gets automatically turned on and off by a thermostat that keeps track of the water temperature. But that got us to thinking that reheating really isn't necessary when we're away from that space, and we still do sleep nights. We asked Jasco to send their heavy-duty timer for review. It's a 15-amp control with a grounded AC outlet in its body and a short cord to plug it into the wall. A circular dial under a flip-up cap, and we should mention that it's outdoor rated, though we don't need that for our use. That circular dial lets you set it to the current time, also lets you set on and off times in 15-minute increments by sliding small sliders out or in, and a red slider selects timed or manual on and off. It's quiet. You have to hold it up to your ear to hear the geared clock motor inside. Bottom line, the Jasco heavy-duty 24-hour timer lets you set high-power things to run only when you need them to run to help your electric meter do a little less running. Marty Winston for News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Here, 33 minutes past the...
Always that little bit of hesitancy.
Always that little bit of hesitance. Until we get it down pat. Until we know. But, anyways, welcome back to the Computer America Show. 34 minutes past the hour. Sandy Berger is going to finish out the show here with us. And I just want to point out that, just the way technology is, if you were concerned that, 20 years ago or 24 years ago, when Craig first started this, I'm sure he was talking about the new greatest megabytes of RAM and new keyboards and, which mouse is better, the one with the little ball in it or these newfangled laser ones.
The friction.
Talking all about, it was mainly focused on that kind of thing. And nowadays, we have someone like Sandy Berger on, and we are not a car show, we're not a music show, we're not, anything of the sort, but because everything has technology in it, look at us. We're talking about these exact purchases because they have technology in them nowadays.
Yep.
You're absolutely right, but I think that 24 years ago, Craig was talking about a mouse that was a little wooden box, right?
It's called the friction mouse. It had a little ball in it and had the little wheels, and that's how you moved around. But yeah, I don't think you couldn't for love or money now buy a friction mouse. I think they're all
right.
You could.
They can't.
It's the internet. Someone has to have them.
Yeah, you can find it on eBay.
Yeah, maybe. But why
I wanted to say something, Craig, about the commercial that Winston was talking about, the Jasco timer.
Oh, yes.
And that is a heavy-duty timer. I understand the implications of that. However, the Amazon Echo makes a great timer.
Wow.
Because you can set the lights to go on and off. You can set your appliances to go on and off. You can have her wake you up. You don't have to buy one of those timers that you plug into the wall when you're going on vacation to make it look like the house is lived in and all that. So before long, she'll be able to open and close the drapes and the blinds and everything else as well. So
I can see it now. Amazon Echo, the best haunted house accessory ever.
Only Ben would think of something like that,
That's why.
What other purposes would you need to turn the lights on and off if not to make a convincing haunted house?
I'll have to think on that for a while.
Exactly. So we're just finishing up with the Hyundai Elantra Unlimited. It has all these multimedia extras that you opted in for, and certainly will add, I believe, to the life of the car, because you obviously. If you're like my wife, she buys a car and drives it till the paint falls off of it or something, and then paints it again.
Well, like I said, my other car is the 2002, so I've kept it for a long time. I plan on keeping this one for a long time. And we should mention that there are other cars that have all sorts of other things as well. Volkswagen has a car, the Golf, I believe it is, that you can just move your hand in front of the screen to control it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Chevy has built-in internet, which I didn't really want anyway because you have to pay a monthly fee for that.
Does it have,
But
USB ports in this car?
pardon?
Does this car have USB ports in it?
Yes.
Ah, there you go. See?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of other things that other cars have. You know, they can park themselves now, and
Oh, yeah.
it's totally amazing. And when you go to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, the cars, the area that the cars take up gets larger and larger every year because there's so many things that are included in these cars. And of course, you've got Google with their self-driving cars.
Oh, that's. I think the next car that you'll probably be buying, you know, when it goes around the next 10 years, is going to be self-driving car. I think
It's going to be very interesting. They're being allowed in like 3 states now. Google actually at this year's CES, they actually drove the Google car drove from California to Nevada on its own. I understand that those cars are being tested more and more, and that they have had very few accidents, but all the accidents that they've had have been caused by the humans, not the cars, the self-driving cars. So.
Yeah, they actually release all the accident reports, and because they're on self-driving cars, they have sensors for everything. They can tell you, you know, where the car came from, what it was doing, how fast it was going. You know, it can give you every little minor detail, and you know, no one, just so that no one can say that Google self-driving car came out of nowhere and hit me T-bone, and it's like, no, we know exactly what was happening, and we can map it out for you. Like it's like. Even that part I hadn't really thought about before with accidents is, you know, with self-driving cars and things like that, you know, first of all, they're probably not going to happen, and second of all, if they do, you're going to know every little minute detail that made it happen.
Yeah, and they probably have cameras as well with in the car, just, you know, because they have everything else. I would assume they have that. But Craig, how long do you think it will actually be before we can buy a self-driving car?
I don't think it's going to be that long.
There was an announcement, I think it was a couple days ago, and it may have just been, you know, grandiose speech, but I believe Tesla said that they were going to be making 500,000 self-driving cars in 2020. Like, that was their goal. And I believe it wasn't even the CEO, it was a chairman of the board of Uber, the car, you know, the car riding service. They said that they would buy every single one of those 500,000 cars and deploy them around the world in major cities, and Uber would be using Tesla self-driving cars.
He's got already made customers already.
Yeah, I have trouble believing that's going to happen in 5 years, but yet things are moving quickly.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Hopefully by then we'll have a good-looking and useful pair of Google Glasses as well.
Jonathan in the chat room wants to know. He wonders what will happen if a self-driving car gets hit by lightning.
It gains sentience, and Johnny 5 Road Edition is born.
That's right. It'll become sentient. Sentient. Okay, so moving from pianos, electronic pianos, to electronics in the car, and now we're going to move to the Steak Champ.
From big devices to little tiny devices.
Yeah.
The Steak Champ is a digital steak thermometer. It's about 3 inches long by half an inch by half an inch. I'm going to show it to you for those of you that can see it. That's what it looks like.
Looks like a golf tee.
Yes, it does, but it comes in this little device. Okay.
Okay, all right.
And to turn it on, this interesting thing, to turn it on, you put it down here. I don't know that you can see the light going on and off on it.
Yes, I do. I see that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now it's ready to go into your steak, and so you put it in the steak. It's got 3 different color lights that give you three types of doneness. So you can have rare, medium, or well done. It's actually, I find it very accurate, but it has a few problems as far as I'm concerned. You see how thick it is, the stem of it. So you have to be putting it into a pretty thick steak.
You know, they show them in the video that we're looking at. It's a really juicy, thick steak.
It's a juicy. If you are a real steak eater and you love to grill, this is a great device.
Yeah.
But if you stick to thinner steaks or other things, and it works the best on steaks. They say it also works on salmon and duck and things like that. But I don't think it works on like pork. So you've got to love beef, and then it's a great device. It also, when you take it off the heat, you leave that in, and it tells you when it is actually ready to eat, because there's you actually take the steak off and let it set for a few minutes, and the temperature still goes up. So it's pretty cool. It's very accurate. I think it's expensive. It's $59.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah, that is expensive.
Is it worth it? Well, if you buy a lot of thick steaks and you want your steak to be perfectly done, then it's worth it.
There's a motivation for buying thick steak. I have to buy thick steaks because my steak champ.
I put all of my disposable income into this meat thermometer. I need a thick steak.
Thick steaks. Exactly. Which reminds me, we're gonna have the people who make the sous vide supreme on the show next month. We've invited them to come on. I don't know if you're familiar with sous vide cooking, the technology. It's French. It's been around for.
It's been around for a while. It's a water oven.
A water oven.
Oh, a water oven. Okay.
But basically it cooks meat to the perfect temperature, and it won't go. If you set it for medium rare, it'll stay medium rare no matter how long you have it in there. So it's
not quite.
Well, and then it breaks it down. The things that make meat tough, it breaks it down, so it makes it, when it finally comes out, it's just incredibly tender. But
have you had any of it yet? I mean, have you tried it yourself?
Yes, we have, and it's just wonderful. Some of the best meat I've ever eaten.
I've been playing with it.
Yeah, cheap cuts of meat. Cheap cuts of meat. Ben's been cooking it, and it's just wonderful. Anyway, so the steak champ. So you're one thumb up, one thumb down, maybe.
Yeah, it's not something I would go out and buy because I don't make a lot of thick steaks at home, but if you do, the other thing is you can use it on the stovetop as well.
Okay.
So, this is not just a grilling thing. You can use it on the stovetop. I think it's good to like 900 degrees or something like that.
Ooh.
So, and it's stainless steel. It's really well made and sturdy.
So, yeah, and just browsing through the website here, the battery, they're like, extremely energy-saving LED technology, because I guess it just has to power that little light and any kind of, thermostat it may have within it, but it can't be replaced. So, I mean, has that been brought up to you yet? That you have to go buy a new stick?
You do, but it's good for like 1,000 to 2,000 uses.
Yeah.
So it's going to take you, unless you have steak 3 meals a day, it's going to take you quite a while to use up the battery in this thing. By the way, this is made in Germany, and if you do go to the website, if you're looking at the cheat sheet and you go to the website, you might have to change it to English. It might come up in German first, but there's a little translate button up there, so you can translate it into English.
But maybe they've been talking to Apple, because they can't change the batteries in their devices either. I don't know. Maybe. Anyhow.
Now that still aggravates me about Apple's devices, so don't get me started on that.
Yeah. But there it is. So the steak champ. Check it out. $59.95, and you can't change the battery, and it's made in Germany.
Right. And that's the Amazon price.
And the Amazon price, but it's good for like at least 2,000 steaks. So you're gonna need a lot of meat before the thing runs out of power.
It had like 4 reviews on Amazon, and all 4 people gave it a 5 stars.
All right.
So not super well known, but hey.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about Microsoft's new web browser, the Edge.
Yes, I've reviewed it for the CompuKiss website. By the way, that's www.compukiss.com.
Yep.
So please feel free to jump over there and look at some of the tutorials and things that I have. But the Edge browser is the the new web browser that Microsoft is releasing with Windows 10, and it is going to replace the aging Internet Explorer.
Yeah, finally.
Finally, exactly. I never liked the name Internet Explorer, and I think the name Edge is really good, because it's like being on the edge,
Yeah.
you know, cutting edge,
Cutting edge, yeah.
whatever. I think it's actually the first good name that Microsoft has come up with. After you think
Oh.
about some of the things they've had, like Vista, ME, you know, that sort of thing. So I give them that to start with.
The Xbox One, for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. And, you know, people just, Internet Explorer just, the name was bad because people got that confused with the Windows Explorer, and nobody was sure which was which, and they didn't know what they were talking about. So at least the Edge is a good name. And the other thing about it is everything in it is better than the old Internet Explorer. It's much more secure. It's much faster. It can do all the new web statuses like HTML5, and the interface is really simple, so it's easy to use, and that's one thing that Windows 10 they've done very well, making it easier to use than Windows 8.
Okay.
Windows 8 was a pain to learn.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We have heard that before, yes.
Yeah. Now, the Edge, what they've taken their cue from is the Chrome browser. Do you guys use Chrome, or what browser do you use?
I use the Chrome, yes.
How about you, Greg?
He uses Chrome exclusively. I use Chrome, but I still prefer Firefox.
Okay. I used Firefox for a long time, mainly because of the extensions in it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And now Chrome has gotten extensions that are as good as Firefox.
Might be even better, because the one extension that I really wanted in Firefox that's now in Chrome still isn't in Firefox, and that is that if you have multiple tabs open and one of them starts playing audio, you can just look at the tab, it puts a little speaker, and you know which one it is. In Firefox, you can't do that yet.
Right. You can do that in Chrome. You have to set it up in the settings in order to do that, and I do that in my Chrome browser, but guess what?
What?
In Edge, that's an automatic thing.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's got the little, every time a website starts playing a video or an audio of any sort, you'll get the little microphone up there, and you can just press on it to stop it, which ends a big frustration, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that a lot.
Hopefully that makes it through to the end browser, because a lot of people who throw out a lot of money for internet advertising don't like that option, because they, as annoying as it is for a car commercial or a perfume commercial or a drink, or a liquor commercial to do that, it gets your attention and it works. So they actually like that. As much as you hate it, the companies paying the money like it. So hopefully that makes it through.
Well, you're probably right on that the companies would hate it, but it is in the current version, and we're getting very near to the end in Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's still there now, chances are it's going to make it into the final version. I mean, they can still take out anything that they want to. But, July 29th is the date for Windows 10 and for the Edge browser, which will be included with Windows 10. And since we're getting so close to that, the final code has to go out to the manufacturers very, very shortly.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, so we're on either the last update or the second from the last, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah, I read somewhere, can't quote exactly where, but that's what was it? Friday. Like this Friday is going to be like whatever happens this Friday is going to be the final update to Windows 10.
Sure, because what's the date this Friday?
The 10th. I think.
The 10th. Yeah, and they need 2 weeks at least to get it out there to manufacturing. So I think that's true. The other thing I really like about this this browser, you can annotate a web page. So you can get up any web page and you can draw on it, you can write text on it, you can put comments on it, arrows, whatever you want. All this comes in several colors and several thicknesses and all that. If you're using a touch screen, you can draw right on the screen with your finger. If you're using a mouse, you can draw with the mouse. And it's cool, and it works. I mean, it really works. So if you want to show somebody something, you just mark up the page and you email it to them or share it with them in some manner. I don't know how that's going to be in the final version, but that's what you do.
By the
It's
way,
really-
I didn't want to interrupt, but I just heard from Ford. He says that Firefox now, the version 39, which is the new one, he says now has that feature. So
cool.
if playing it actually in the the Firefox shows a play arrow on the tab and on the taskbar. So now taskbar, he's talking about the Windows version. Yeah, I don't know if it's running it if it happens on the Mac, but it's in my experience that the versions are synonymous with features. So hopefully they'll have that in there too. Okay.
Now Microsoft has announced that the Edge browser is going to be able to use the extensions from Firefox and Chrome.
Oh.
Which is amazing to me that they are going to be able to use those, or will they need to be rewritten? I'm not sure, but it says that it will use those extensions. However, they announced that a few months ago, and recently they announced that the extensions would not be in the final version that's coming out on July 29th. So they're planning on adding that later, and all of Windows 10 as well as this Edge browser, they're going to be adding things as they go on. So you're going to install that, and then new features will come. Most people will like that, but there'll be people who are going to say, well, just a minute, I just learned how to do this, and now they changed it. So there'll be some complaints about that, but that's how Windows 10 and the Edge browser are both going to work. Okay. Hopefully they just get better with time.
Yeah, I think so. And that will be a big feature. I mean, if you can use all the extensions for Chrome and for Firefox in Edge without them having to rewrite it, that will be a real feather in Microsoft.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to actually do that, but they have said that they're going to do it, so I have to believe them.
Yeah. By the way, an update. That thing that I was told about the Firefox, that he knows it's in a Windows 7 machine, but doesn't know if it's for the Mac. Though my experience is that both are synonymous. They're synced, so one should be in the other. Never know. All right, so continue. So Edge. So
yeah, one other thing about the Edge. One other nice thing that they have is they have a little icon, and the icon I can't tell you what it looks like because it keeps changing. Every version they've changed it a little bit, but there's an icon that gets you to what they call the hub, and it's on the top right of your toolbar. But that gives you really easy access to the favorites, a reading list, which is new, your browsing history, and your current downloads. Now, the current downloads to me is the most important thing there, because the average person, when they download something, then they don't know where to find it, and it's different in every browser that you have, different in Chrome and Firefox and Internet Explorer. So this is going to be a really nice way to be able to get to everything in one little icon.
Okay. And again, so basically we're getting a 2 thumbs up for Microsoft Edge is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's the interface is very much like Chrome. It's very simple. It's clear, uncluttered look.
Excellent. All right. Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing on CompuKiss, and I understand you write for other publications too, Sandy. We have about a minute or so. Tell us a little bit.
I do. I write for a newdomain.net, and I'm putting quite a few things out there now, some phone reviews and things like that. And at CompuKiss, there's always something new. One thing that I have on CompuKiss is that Google has added an undo function to Gmail. So if you're a Gmail user, and you know how many times you send something to somebody that you shouldn't have, like send it to your boss instead of your husband or whatever. so you can set, you have to go into the settings again and change this, but you can set it to give yourself an extra 5 seconds, or I think it's up to 25 seconds to change your mind if you want to undo sending an email.
That is nice. Exactly.
Nice feature. So on CompuKiss, I try to keep you up to date on a lot of the new things that happen that you might not know about otherwise.
All right. Well, again, and you can check all that out at CompuKiss.com, and we on our website at ComputerAmerica.com we have a link to the CompuKiss website, and you can check it out for yourself. Sandy, thank you so much for being with us here tonight. Always a pleasure having you here in the show, and of course we'll see you next month in August on the 12th. It is August 12th will be the second Wednesday of the month, and
I look forward to it, and Windows 10 will be out then, so we can talk about that in detail.
Yeah, and that I'm looking forward to as well. So again, so stay with us, of course, to the end. In the meantime, we're tomorrow night. We're going to have in the first hour Slimware Utilities is going to be joining us. That's right, Slimware Utilities, the same people who bring you the computer and technology news when we do it.
90 seconds.
Bob Bryant is going to be here. He is the General Manager and Chief Technology Officer for Slimware Utilities. They are owned by MindSpark. We just had them on the show recently as well, so we're looking forward to that. And then the second hour, you guessed it, Computer and Technology News brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official
Where have I heard of them before?
optimization software of Computer America. Again, thank you all so much for being with us here tonight. Thanks for being in the chat room. And
60 seconds.
Ben and I will see you tomorrow night. Again, Slimware Utilities joining us in the first hour, Bob Bryant, and in the second hour, Computer and Technology News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. Thank you all so much for being with us here. I expect a lot of you will be going out and getting yourself an Amazon Echo now. So, I mean, Sandy Berger says it's great, and it is great. And, you know, if you're looking for that digital assistant, I would think that would be something that you'd want to check out. So that wraps it up. Thanks again for being with us tonight, and Ben and I will see you here, same time, same station. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
10 seconds.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, everybody, thanks again for watching on our live video stream. And Sandy, thanks again for being with us here. And best of luck with you with your new car and your new piano.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.